What if fear, that beast in the shadows, is not our enemy but our ally? A curious thought, isn't it? Welcome to this discussion where we'll explore the fascinating world of fear and how it shapes our lives. There was a time when I was terrified of public speaking. The mere thought of standing in front of a crowd, all eyes on me, would make my heart pound, my palms sweat. I would imagine all sorts of disasters happening, forgetting my lines, tripping over, the audience laughing at me. But here's the thing. None of that ever happened. It was all in my mind. So how did I overcome this paralyzing fear? I started small. I found opportunities to speak in front of small groups, then slightly larger ones, each time pushing my comfort zone a little further. Now, let's take a moment to consider another story. Picture a young girl, afraid of the dark. Every night she would lie in bed, heart pounding, as her imagination conjured up all sorts of monsters lurking in the shadows. But one night, she decided to confront her fear. She sat up, switched on the light, and looked around. There were no monsters. The shadows were just shadows. That night, she learned an important lesson. Fear often distorts reality, making us see threats where there are none. So, what do these stories tell us about fear? Firstly, fear is often born from the unknown, the unfamiliar. When we expose ourselves to the thing we fear, we often find that it's not as scary as we thought. Secondly, fear is a product of our imagination. It's our mind playing tricks on us, making us see threats that aren't real. And finally, we can control our fear. It doesn't have to control us. To summarize, there are 3 key points to remember when it comes to controlling fear. First, familiarize yourself with the unknown. Fear often stems from the unfamiliar. By exposing ourselves to the things we fear, we can reduce their power over us. Second, challenge your imagination. Recognize that fear is often a product of our mind's tricks, distorting reality to make us see threats where there are none. By confronting our fears, we can see them for what they really are. And lastly, take control of your fear. Don't let it control you. Remember, fear is not our enemy. It's a natural response designed to protect us. But when it starts to hold us back, it's time to take control. So the next time fear rears its ugly head, remember these points. Don't run away. Stand your ground. Face your fear. It's not as scary as it seems. And who knows? You might just find that fear, that beast in the shadows, is not your enemy after all, but your ally.